Hello, young explorers. Today, we're embarking on an exciting journey to discover the incredible parts of our home planet Earth. We'll learn about its four main domains, from the land beneath our feet to the air above us, and how they all work together to make life possible. Get ready to explore the lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and biosphere. Our Earth is truly special. When you look at it from space, it looks like a beautiful blue marble. And that's because over 3/4, or 75% of its surface is covered by water. This is why we often call it the blue planet. But what truly sets Earth apart from other planets in our solar system is that it has all the right ingredients: land, water, and air, which are essential for life to exist and thrive here. No other known planet has this perfect combination. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that the Earth spins incredibly fast? At the equator, it rotates at about 1,000 miles per hour. That's faster than a racing car, but we don't feel it because everything around us is moving at the same speed. Our amazing Earth isn't just one big blob, it's cleverly divided into four main parts, or domains, and each one plays a super important role. Think of them as different layers or areas that work together. First, we have the lithosphere, which is all about the solid land on Earth, from mountains to the soil beneath your feet. Then there's the hydrosphere, which covers all the water on our planet, like oceans, rivers, and even groundwater. Next up is the atmosphere. This is the blanket of air that surrounds our entire Earth. And finally, linking them all together is the biosphere, which is the special area where all living things, from tiny bacteria to giant trees and animals, can be found. Each domain has its own special characteristics and is vital for our planet. That's a cool fact. The highest point we know on Earth's land, part of the lithosphere, is Mount Everest, towering high into the sky. And for the hydrosphere, the deepest known point is the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean, which is deeper than Mount Everest is tall. Imagine that. Let's dive deeper into the lithosphere, the solid rocky part of our Earth. It's not just one solid block. It's made up of four amazing layers, kind of like an onion. The very outermost layer, where we live, build our homes, and grow our food, is called the crust. It's made of soil, rocks, and tiny solid particles. Beneath the crust is a much thicker layer called the mantle. This layer is very hot and is made up of molten rock, which we call magma. You might hear about magma when volcanoes erupt. At the very center of our Earth is the core. This is the hottest part of our entire planet and is made mostly of iron and nickel. The core itself is divided into two parts: the liquid outer core and the solid inner core. Sure. Here's an interesting fact. Earthquakes, those sudden shakes we sometimes feel, mostly happen in the Earth's crust. That's right. The very layer we live on is always moving and shifting, causing these tremors. Now, let's talk about the hydrosphere, which is all about water. Remember how we said Earth is the blue planet? That's because 3/4, or about 75% of its surface, is covered by water. The hydrosphere includes all the water bodies you can think of: vast oceans, seas, rivers, lakes, and ponds. But it's not just on the surface. Water is also found underground as groundwater, stored in places called aquifers. Water is unique because it exists in all three states in nature. You see it as liquid in rivers, as gas like water vapor or fog, and as solid ice in glaciers, ice caps, and giant icebergs. The amazing water cycle describes how water continuously changes its forms and moves around nature. It starts with evaporation, where the sun heats water, turning it into vapor. This vapor rises, and as it gets higher and cooler, it changes back into tiny liquid drops, forming clouds. That's condensation. Finally, when the clouds become too heavy, the water falls back to Earth as rain or snow, a process called precipitation. The hydrosphere is incredibly important because it supports all life on Earth, helps plants grow, and even affects our climate. Here's a cool fact about icebergs, which are part of the solid hydrosphere. What you see of an iceberg above the water is only a small part. Most of it, about 90%, is hidden deep beneath the surface. That's why they can be so dangerous for ships. Let's move on to the atmosphere, our planet's amazing blanket of air. Even though we can't see the air, we can definitely feel it when the wind blows or when leaves rustle. This invisible layer is absolutely essential for life on Earth. First, it makes life possible by providing the air we breathe. It's mostly made up of nitrogen and oxygen, with tiny amounts of other gases like carbon dioxide, helium, and argon. Humans and animals need oxygen to survive, while plants rely on carbon dioxide to make their food. Second, the atmosphere acts like a giant greenhouse, taking in the sun's heat and storing warm air, which keeps our planet warm enough to live on. And third, it protects us from the sun's harmful rays, like dangerous ultraviolet light. That's why sometimes you still need sunscreen, even with the atmosphere's protection. Fun fact, airplanes typically fly in the troposphere, which is the lowest layer of the atmosphere, closest to the Earth. Here's a fact about the air around us. The Earth's atmosphere is really thick, stretching about 100 kilometers or 62 miles high. Most of the air that we need to breathe, like oxygen, is actually packed into the first 10 kilometers, or about 6 miles, closest to the Earth's surface. Finally, we come to the biosphere, the incredible realm where all life on Earth exists. For anything to be alive, whether it's a tiny insect, a giant whale, or a towering tree, it needs air, water, and land. This means the biosphere isn't a separate layer. It actually includes parts of the lithosphere, the hydrosphere, and the atmosphere. Living things are found everywhere, from the deepest parts of the ocean to the highest mountains and even high up in the air. Within the biosphere, you'll find many ecosystems. An ecosystem is a complex community where living things, like animals and plants, interact with non-living things, like rocks, water, and sunlight, all functioning together as one big unit. It's important to remember that our biosphere is delicate and can be harmed by things like climate change, too many people, and using up too many of Earth's precious resources. So we must take care of it. That's a fascinating fact. The biosphere is truly vast. It doesn't just cover the surface. It can extend all the way from the deepest ocean trenches, many kilometers down, to several kilometers up into the atmosphere, reaching wherever life, even in microscopic forms, can possibly survive. Fantastic job, everyone. We've covered a lot about our amazing Earth today. To recap, we learned that our planet has 4 crucial domains: the lithosphere, our solid land; the hydrosphere, all the water; the atmosphere, the air around us; and the biosphere, where all living things are found, beautifully connecting the other 3. We also explored Earth's internal layers: the crust, mantle, and core. We understood the continuous journey of water through the water cycle, which includes evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. We discovered how vital the atmosphere is for providing air and protecting us. And finally, we saw how the biosphere ties everything together, showing us that all life depends on these interconnected domains. Remember, taking care of our planet means understanding and protecting each of these vital parts. Here's a final cool fact. Our Earth is truly unique. It's the only known planet in our entire solar system that has liquid water on its surface. And that liquid water is absolutely key to why life as we know it can exist and thrive here. Thank you for joining this journey into Earth's domains. Keep exploring and learning about our wonderful planet. See you next time.